Now, let's move on to one of our other main topics, which is, again, budget related. Now, ladies and gents, one movie of Marvel Phase 4, Phase 4, that was considered to be a success. Does anyone know it? Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, this
Still
movie
haven't seen that from start to finish.
This movie took $955.8 million, I think was the overall figure. $955.8 million at the global box office. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, that is huge. What a massive success. What a huge success. Rip-roaring success. Nearly $1 billion. Well, riddle me this. If we look at the conservative side of a marketing budget, it actually only made somewhere in the region of $50 million. That's a conservative estimate, because it has now come out, ladies and gents, that actually it cost $100 million more than previously believed. Now, let's get into the nitty gritty of this. $350 million. That's how much Doctor Strange cost to make, which, funnily enough, if we scratch that straight back to Indiana Jones was the most expensive movie Disney Lucasfilm made. It's definitely $350+ million, but I digress slightly. $349 million Doctor Strange cost. Now, we conservatively, and it is conservatively, let's just conservatively say it had $150 million marketing budget. It didn't. It was more than that. But let's just say conservatively it did. 350 plus 150. Culture, you're good with mathematics. What does that put us at total budget wise?
Oh wow! Let's say the $300 million plus the $200 million.
350 plus 150.
Well, there was a tax write down in the UK.
Okay, all right, yeah, true.
But I mean, yes, they did spend that money, but they got $54 million in tax credit in the UK. So I like I said, I will stick with that $300 million number, and suggest that yes, it probably was $200 million in ads and print, so A&P, P&A, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I mean, it's $500 million.
So riddle me this, Andre. You're good with mathematics.
He is.
You Norwegian good sir.
He is.
How much does that movie need to make to break even?
Tell me again the total negative cost that we arrived at there.
There's $500 million all in conservatively.
$500 million in conservatively. This movie needs to make upwards of $900 million to break even.
So how much money did it? How much money do you think it made? Andre, if it did $955.8 million.
Well, again, that's where we get the $50 million from, isn't it? That it's left over with at the bottom line after everything is said and done.
Without the tax credits, it wouldn't have made any money. That's crazy.
So basically, they needed my money. They needed my tax.
Thank you.
Some of my tax made that film a success.
Thanks.
Wow. Actually, yeah, this is true.
I mean, that's the bittersweet.
Mr. Bob Iger should write a thank you letter to Mr. H and every other denizen of the UK for the tax credits that bailed him out.
Unbelievable.
Worldwide, that movie made what? It was over 900 million, wasn't it? For Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness?
$955.8 million.
Yeah, that's the $50 million that it made. Because I mean, at that price level,
actually made.
The break-even point is upwards of $900 million.
Yeah,
and they just waste money.
Yeah, like I said, I just had to point that out, that without that tax credit received from y'all for $54+ million, and this is all real. This was sourced out by Forbes, right? So when you look at this,
it's real because they also filmed in the UK, so they had to file their taxes.
Yeah, that's fantastic. But $54 million came out of your pocket, Nate, and I promise you, Disney doesn't care that they robbed you. They robbed you.
Spit in my face as well, I'm sure. Outrageous. This is what we're talking about, these budgets, guys. This is what we were saying about what is that bloody the Marvels? That's it. I was gonna say Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel, the Marvels. This movie had to hit over $900 million basically to start turning a profit. So that you can see why now the title of this podcast is what it is, because these budgets are insane.
Yeah,
and it's at breaking point, isn't it, Andre? It's got to be, surely.
You'd think so. But there's no signs of stopping. And I do believe part of the motivation is that a very big part of this money is, and this is part of the reason why they can get away with it, it's something that is registered as cost. It is something that they can write off as cost. But a very big chunk of this money is cost that is just transferred to another account within Disney, and ultimately to some of the studio heads and everything. So money is still being earned here, just not by the corporation proper, and certainly not by the shareholders. But I do believe that many individual producers in the Marvel system, these movies were very profitable for them, and it was very profitable for various internal production entities, just not for Disney's shareholders. And they are the ones that need to riot against what's going on here. Because what this means is that this is further proof. I mean, because just look at Phase 4 as a whole. This is probably the only movie in Phase 4 that made any kind of money. And it's less money than expected. Everything else, I mean, they've probably lost like $1 billion, $2 billion on Phase 4.
Oh, it's just insane. It is absolutely insane.
You know, that's more money. And Terry Not a Tiger in chat brought this up, but that's more money than what was spent on Avatar 2.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not. I mean, these things right here, they do have like Avatar level budget.
I've said this multiple times. These budgets are absolutely insane. I'm just waiting for creative filmmakers to come back and have some low budget films that actually do really well, that are good, entertaining movies, that doesn't have some sort of political message in it. You know, Napoleon Dynamite in 2004, it had like a, what was it, like a 400,000. It was less than $500,000 budget.
You need to go check out Asteroid City.
At what is it? Asteroids 80?
Asteroid City, like the new Wes Anderson movie. And also, Insidious, The Red Door is coming next week. See, there's
that looks good.
Nefarious was another good one. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
No.
And as is being pointed out in the chat, you have the Sound of Freedom, opening up to massive pre-sales. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. So,
goodness me! But this is apparently where the where it all sort of came from. So I remember reporting at the time, but there was huge reshoots, and I was like, they're basically reshooting the whole film, because the amount that they were reshooting for lengthwise was crazy. So this entire sequences were changed.
Yeah.
Loads of the cameos were filmed multiple times. Marvel Studios not actually having a concrete plan in place for the multiverse saga.
Yeah.
Fucking outrageous. Well, there you go. Spaffed it up the wall. With my 50 million in tax, making Marvel some profit there. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.